Now, looking at continuing with equity, looking at how to value the growth or basically most of the value of a stock. I mean, essentially, what you do is you discount any kind of earnings that are coming up by the discount rate. So that's the present value of earnings. But what always ends up happening, or in this book, we are talking about just dividends. The valuation of a stock is just dividends discounted over the future horizon of periods, and then we'll talk about the final piece, which is, um, what is the kind of like the if you had an annuity of cash flows at the end, what would it be worth? And here we're calling it dividends a little bit on the old school side, um, and very traditional, I think very conservative, because in reality nobody's really paying dividends in our world anymore. And those who do is hardly most of the earnings. So the valuations that I usually use involve just the earnings that would have to be discounted altogether because they are mostly reinvested into the growth of these businesses. But it's the same concept. So, but the idea is, um, how do we come up with a stock value for something that continues to grow down the line? And the idea is that the last piece, that the pH here, what is referred to as pH, which is basically the horizon value of, for example, say we're valuing the first 3 years, and then the fourth year, we're talking about fourth year through forever. So we're talking about something that is our earnings divided by the discount rate minus the growth rate. So in other words, it essentially becomes what is the annuity of this pay? What is the present value of this annuity? And if you do an example, it can become very easy to do, and we can go over one. So this is an example of one where you can get the present value of something that's in the future. But it's really good to kind of play with, kind of almost do, which I've done a lot in my classes, do a regular stock and see how you get to the exact price that it's trading at based on the earnings estimates that they're estimating. So that could always be a fun side thing to do, just to double check this formula, and then you know how to value stocks. I mean, with just the inputs, that is.